Do you want to help strengthen this channel? It's easy. When making your purchases, use the provided links in the description of which we are affiliates. Every small gesture is very valuable to us.
Something that with which your chemistry is gelling. If your chemistry is gelling, you are always focused on that one, isn't it? Here there's no chemistry, but you have to focus on that. For this you need a balance and a steady mind. For this you need to eat in a certain way. I will make this very simple, but if you want I can send you a full-fledged video where all of you can see for maybe 45 minutes to an hour what is food and how it works in your system, how it relates to your physiology, why food behaves the way it behaves, an entire system of it. But to put it very simply, food goes through your body through the alimentary canal. From your mouth to your anal outlet, there is a pipe. Through this it runs, going through various stages of digestive process. Many of you are biology people, right? So, it goes through the alimentary canal. Now it begins with the lip. Here, if you look at this, all the herbivores and carnivores. If you look at the animal kingdom, there are herbivores and carnivores are two main segments of animals in the world. One eats vegetable matter, another eats meat. If you look at the alimentary canal, the way it is built, between herbivores and carnivores, there's a distinct difference. Everything in the human being suggests that you are naturally a herbivore, but for the sake of survival, we became carnivores. If you look at the jaw movement, all the carnivorous animals have only cutting action. Herbivores have cutting and grinding action. There are molars, but carnivores don't have widespread molars, they have just incisors, canines, and everything looks like cutting teeth. So they do only this. All the herbivores do grinding. What do you have? Both. So you are supposed to chew your food. Why you are supposed to chew your food is you have enzymes in your saliva where if you take a little bit of raw rice and put it in your mouth just for a minute, you will see it turn sweet right here, because right here carbohydrate is being converted into sugar, right here. So if you eat properly, then we say about 30 to 50% of your digestion should happen in your mouth. So this part of the digestive system is expecting half-digested food or partially digested food. But right now the way we're eating is mostly we're putting not only undigested food, but partially destroyed food. So the amount of food that you need to get the same amount of energy has increased. You are eating much more food than what you should eat to generate that much of energy. Because of that, there is inertia in the body, because it has to process so much more food than what it should. There is inertia. Once there is inertia, your sleep quota increases. How many hours do you sleep on? Hello? 8 hours. You're going by the prescription, huh? See, this is not that you must deny yourself sleep, that's not the point. But if you eat right and do a certain things with your body, you see very effortlessly, within 3 to 4 weeks, you can drop your sleep quota anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. 1.5 to 3 hours very easily you can drop if you just eat consciously and just learn to sit properly, just the posture, your geometry of the body and what goes into the system. If you just manage these two things, you will see sleep quota will just come down like that. Just to tell you, for over 25 years, I have largely managed with an average of 2.5 hours of sleep. Now I'm getting lazy and I'm sleeping, averaging somewhere around 4.5 hours now. But 7 days of the week, okay? 365 days, non-stop, on, almost every day. My daughter didn't call me for a month. I asked, what the hell is the problem with you? Why are you not calling? She said, every 6 hours you're in a new city, what the hell I'm supposed to do? So I said, okay, which is true. In one day, sometimes we're doing 3 cities, so it's a non-stop activity. And today many people around me have learned to do this. Over 100, 150 people around me are doing this kind of activity, averaging 4 hours sleep and 7 days of the week, they're on, all the time. And they are not irritated, they are not frustrated, they're joyful and they're wonderful. Why this is this? There are many aspects to this, but one important aspect is food, how you eat. Not only what you eat, how you eat is also very important, because food is a live thing. One simple thing all you girls can do is just see various health issues and inertia issue, focus issue, just bring 40 to 50% of the food in its raw form, that means it's alive. It must be a live cell, it can be a vegetable, it can be a fruit, it can be a nut, it can be sprouted gram. At least 40 to 50%, the food that you eat must be alive. You eat dead food and you want to live, this is a little difficult thing to do, because you have to raise the dead now. But if you eat live food, one thing you will see is the state of your mind, your focus and your sleep quotas, and above all, staying awake is not good enough, you have to stay alert, isn't it? How alert you are, how focused you are, only to that extent everything yields to you in this world, isn't it so? What is the level of focus will determine whether the world yields to you or not, isn't it? And one more aspect of life, one more aspect of food is, when you consume something, it must be of a simple genetic code in the sense, it must be a very simple software. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, sprouts, they're very simple. More complicated means animal food becomes more and more complicated. Suppose you eat an animal which has some amount of emotion and a life of its own. Now the code in that, we were talking about this, your body is just an accumulation of memory, which means a certain software, isn't it? This is the most complex software. Human software is the most complex software on the planet of all the creatures. From an amoeba to this is the most complex… I'm not talking about her. She's looking… yes. This is the most… this is safe. This is the most complex software. So if you eat an animal, particularly a mammal, if you eat, it has a similar kind of complexity, maybe not as complex as this, similar level of complexity because it has thought and emotion of its own. Now for you to break that code and integrate it into your system, you are not fully successful. So it will leave traces of certain qualities within you. Otherwise, the best food would be eat human flesh because it's same. But you cannot break that. You cannot break that code and make it a part of yours because it's a different and complex code. If you eat a leaf, a vegetable, a fruit, a nut or a sprout, this is much simpler. If you must eat non-vegetarian food, you must eat that which is furthest away from you. So generally, fish and water life is furthest away from you. So if you must eat non-vegetarian food, the best thing to eat is, you are on the coast. Fish is the best thing to eat that way.
Thank you, Sadhguru. We have a very enthusiastic audience and I'm sure they have a lot of questions to ask. So…
They're about to fall asleep, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Hello?
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. My name is Karishma Joshi and I was an Isha homeschool student.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. How come I missed you, huh?
And when I found out you were coming to college, I was so happy. And my question to you is, in Mahabharata, we see Amba, she's so determined to take revenge on Bhishma. And she goes to Shiva, and Shiva actually grants her that boon. So, why would somebody want to live their whole life just with the sole intention of taking revenge on somebody, and how would this affect them? Thank you.
Well, whether we like it or not, there are such people in the world, all right? Yes or no? Are they there or not? They are there. So Mahabharata is depicting all sorts of people. Every kind of character that can exist on the planet is there. There are over 100,000 characters representing the best, the worst, in between, every range is there. So she is one. Because, see, just now, some time ago, when she asked the question, something horrible happened to somebody, an abuse happened to somebody, and that person not willing to forget. Some will become hurt and wounded, some will become angry and vengeful, depending on their own nature and also the situation in which we exist. So she is in a royal setup. Here, vengeance is considered honor. Vengeance is not considered vengeance. Vengeance is considered as a virtue. When somebody hurts a king or a queen, they must go and finish them. Till you finish them, your job is not done. This is the culture in which she is. We must not look at it from today's time and today's culture that you are in. That time she is in a royal family, she is a princess and she is insulted. She feels horribly insulted by what happened. You know what happened to her life. Now she wants to, at any cost, extract a prize for that. So she goes for that. So she is asking Shiva, the question is why Shiva is assisting her, is that it? Is it the question? Yes. Shiva is like that only. Because, this happened to him. Once Ravana, you heard of Ravana? Ravana came to Shiva and worshipped him and praised him and glory. So he loved him so much and he said, you ask whatever you want, I'll give you. And that guy says, I want your wife. Shiva is in a mood like that, he says, okay, take her. Parvati is having a bath in the Manasa Rover close by. And this guy goes looking for Parvati to take her home. Then somebody goes and tells her, Shiva has granted permission that this man who's come from somewhere in the south, he can take you and go with him. She said, has he lost his mind? Then, you have heard of these things. Have you been kissing frogs? No. You don't believe that story? No. This started a long time ago. So Parvati took a frog and made this frog into a beautiful young woman and left her in a lake adjacent to Manasarovar, which is today called as Rakshasthal. So Ravana went straight to Rakshasthal and saw this young woman. He thought, she is Parvati, took her and went home. Then he realized she has come out of a frog. But she was Mandodari, that's why she's called Mandodari, one who came out of a frog. But she was beautiful and wonderful woman, so she became his queen and stayed there. But his thing about wanting to take somebody's wife again took him to Ayodhya, you know you know all the trouble, that's another matter. But you must understand this, that which you are referring to as the highest or the divine cannot be discriminatory, isn't it? Hello? If God says, whoever the God is, if he says, I'm responsible for these people, I'm not responsible for those people, is he fired or no? Hello? Fired or no? Because essentially, it is a response, a limitless response. When something responds to everybody, if their thing is right, then we say this is divine. It only responds to me, not to you. This is not divine, this is my party, isn't it? Hello? So when Ravana, as a great devotee, he worshipped him, he said, ask whatever you want, but that guy should have civilization. But he has nothing like that. He says, I want your wife. He says, okay, take her and go. So in that context, she burns in front of Shiva and says she is doing austerities after austerities, putting herself to extreme difficulties and says, all I want is to kill this man, give me the power. He said, okay, have it. But this does not mean it'll lead to your well-being. See what happened to Ravana? The same. A man was driving in Mexico and he ran out of gas. Then he walked and there he saw a local monastery where monks were living with very meager resources. He said, "My car has run out of gas, do something." So the monk said, "See, we don't have anything else here, we don't have cars, we don't have gas, but I can give you a mule. You ride on the mule to the next town and then you can get gas there and come back. Only thing is, we have trained the mules like this, you sit on it, you don't beat it, you don't do all that, you just say, praise the Lord, it will go. When you want it to stop, you say, Amen, it will stop." So he sat on it and said, praise the Lord. It went and went and went, the whole day it travelled. Then he saw the mule was going straight towards a cliff edge. He wants to stop it, he's doing this, that, but he's forgotten the mantra. He tried everything, but the mule is just going straight to the edge of the cliff. It came right here, about to take its next step. Then he remembered and said, Amen. It stopped. He looked down 2,000 feet below. Oh my God, praise the Lord. This happens, you know. Anybody, please take the microphone.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Pritika. I'm a grade 12 student. So we're studying and living in this very overly competitive world where everybody wants to be the best. And sometimes I find a difficulty in deciding what the right path is for me. Because even though I may be good at, say, dancing or singing, there's always somebody who's better than me. So my question to you is, how do we find the motivation… How do we find the motivation to do something that we like for the sole purpose of being happy ourselves instead of following the society's demands to, be the best at what we do? Thank you.
Now, this ailment has caught us quite a bit. We don't want to be the best, really, if you really look at it, because you don't know what is the best. Does somebody know what is the best? Hello? Do we ever know what is the best? We don't know. All we want is, we want to be better than the person who is sitting next to us. This is a disease, because what you're enjoying in your life is not what you have. You enjoy what she doesn't have. She's number two. That's the only joy you have. When you enjoy something that other people do not have, or when you enjoy other people's suffering, when other people's suffering is the source of joy for you, I think it's sickness, not joy. Hello? Yes or no? It amounts to sickness or no? But right now, this sickness has caught all of us. Right from an early age, they're teaching you this. At home, they told you, you must be first rank. You never asked, what about the other children? I asked my mother this, she thought I've gone crazy. I asked, what about the other kids if I come first? She said, this boy is crazy, because she's repeating what was told to her by somebody else. So if I come first, what about the other children? It doesn't matter. You must sit on top of everybody's heads, only then life will happen. No. If your joy comes from the source of other people's suffering, it will not lead to well-being, either your well-being or the world's well-being, isn't it? So why do you want to be the best? What is important is, this life should find full expression. Everything that this one has should come out of this in this life. This should not go unfulfilled. Whether it's better than that one or not is not even the issue. And every human being, have you seen one more person just like you? How fortunate, see? There isn't another human being like you, because one more person like you on the planet would be trouble, huh? Too much. One is too much, isn't it? Two like you, 10 like you would be impossible. So, nobody is like you. The important thing is, will you unfold all the possibilities that you hold within yourself? This is all the concern should be. But right now our systems are created like this all the time, who is fast, who is best, all this rubbish. Well, competition is okay for short term. You want to run a race, okay, who's going to win? That's fine. But life is not a race. If life becomes a race, and if you want to win, you must hit the finish line first, isn't it? What does it mean, huh? You want to hit the finish line today? No. So you better not win, you'd better not be the best. So don't make life into your race. Limited sport we will play here and there, where we race with each other. Just to test our grit, all right? Huh? You and me are going to race right now. Now we will race like our life depends on it for a short period of time. But if you make your entire life into your race, and if you win, you're gone. No, not a good way to do life. So you don't have to be the best. You just have to be the best that you can be. Everything that you can be must happen. You don't have to be better than somebody else ever, it's not necessary. And nobody can be, because every one of you is a unique being. When you're unique, is that better? Or you're one up on somebody, is that better? You are unique.
Namaskar. Before I begin, may I request you to ask…
Yes, sir.
Before that, I love you so much.
Ah. Oh, he just broke my heart.
Sadhguru, my first question is, I'm not able to pull out myself from the grief. Like, whenever I see a child begging on the street, girl or a boy, my conscience just keeps biting me like, you are not doing this for them, you are not doing that for them. So, then I talk to myself saying that if I could earn unlimited, I could do so many things for them. So I don't know how to get out of this feeling. Whenever I see, I just, my legs start walking towards them. And I just spoil the mood for myself. So how to be practical, like how it's too much of emotion which is disturbing me.
See, there is an unfortunate reality in the world, particularly in our country, where many people have not eaten properly. A lot of children still go to bed without food in their stomach. This is a reality. But today, there is some encouraging news, because United Nations has made a study and shows in the last decade, that is from 2006 to 2016, they made a study and they said about 270 million people in the country have come out of the poverty line in the last 10 years rather, in the last decade. It's a fantastic news, isn't it? You're not saying anything, huh? In this country, where over 1.4 million children were dying of malnutrition before they become 5 years of age, has come down by nearly 430,000. Still 970,000 are dying, but we must celebrate the success, very important. Because Everything needs a momentum. Success needs a momentum. If you grieve over things which are bad, you will give momentum to those things which are bad. You must give momentum to those things which are solution. Don't give momentum to the problems, give momentum to the solutions that are happening. And the choice that you and me have is just this: do we want to be a part of the problem or do you want to be a part of the solution? This is all the choice we have. Now, let us say 10 people are miserable here. More than 10 faces are looking miserable. Let us say 10 people are miserable here and because I see these 10 faces, I will also become miserable. Have I solved something or have I added to the problem? Added to the problem, now there are 11 miserable people. So it's very, very important that if we want solutions, we must go beyond our natural, reactive emotions that we have towards various things and look beyond that and see what is the solution. For that solution, we must strive continuously. Will the solutions happen immediately? No. Maybe it'll not happen in our lifetime. But are we a part of the solution? Always are we a part of the solution? Will all of you young girls take this stand in your life? You will always be a part of the solution. Hello? Always. No matter in what situation you are, whatever the situation of your life, it could be personal, it could be social, it could be national, you are always a part of the solution. You will not take sides with problems. Hello? This one thing you take in your life, you will see, you will know the joy of unfolding all your capacity. When you're part of the problem, your possibilities will not come out. When you're part of the solution, you will do things that you never imagined you could do in your life, simply because you will unfold into that possibility. So just become part of the solution. This does not mean you are the solution, no. Because there are people busy always creating new problems. If you solve one problem, they create a new problem. This happened. Can I tell you a joke? You all right? You're not too serious for that? No. A woman in Tennessee, our center in the United States is in Tennessee. So, a woman in Tennessee was marrying for the 5th time. So she was just a day away from marriage, she was having dinner with her fiancé. And she served him mushroom soup. And he took in a spoon and nice candlelight and romantic and everything. Then he asked, "How did your first husband die?" She said, "Well, he ate poison mushrooms and died." Okay. "How did your second husband die?" "Oh, he also ate poison mushrooms and died." Now he kept the spoon there. "But how did the third one die?" "Oh, in fact, he also ate poison mushrooms and died." Now he got terrified. He asked, "How did your fourth husband die?" "Well, he died of a broken neck because he refused to eat poison mushrooms." So what do you want to have? Let's be part of the solution. We are not the solution on this planet. We are part of the solution. We are adding to the solution, we're giving energy and strength to the solution, that's all. Will we solve everything? No. But we must have the fulfillment in our life that we have been a part of the solution, not part of the problem. How did you fall in love with me? Social media love, is it?
Good afternoon, Sadhguru. My name is Sonia Alphonse. My question to you is, I personally feel that I function more efficiently in the night than I do in the day. It's not that I've changed my biological clock or something and I sleep during the day. But it's just that I feel more productive, not only while studying, but otherwise. I feel invigorated in the night. So why is it so? Thank you.
Maybe you're in the wrong country, There are three types of people who do not sleep in the night. A rogi will not sleep in the night. A rogi means a sick person because he cannot sleep. A bogi will not sleep in the night. A pleasure seeker will not sleep in the night because night is conducive for him, for his kind of business. A yogi also will not sleep in the night because for him also night is very conducive. Which one are you? You can decide, I don't want to say anything about it Why night is… See, light, we value light because our visual apparatus are made in a certain way. See, that man has an eye in his hand also. Yes, because we value our visual apparatus so much, we thought two is not enough, three should come. Normally here, but if somebody got it here, what to do? Wrong place, but at least you can close it and open it. But we value our visual apparatus so much simply because they designed in such a way that only in light you can see. What light does to you is, it makes everything distinct. See, now because it is lit, I can see this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Suppose lights went off and this became dark, I just see a mass of people. I don't see this person, this person, this person. So there is a certain sense of lack of boundaries in the night. So for yoga, for sexuality, for friendship, for being together, for study, for focus, for all these things, night seems to be more conducive because the difference between what is you and what is the other comes down in the night, simply because our visual apparatus function like this. Where there is no light, everything merges in our experience. So a yogi, a bogi and a rogi, all three of them make use of the night. You can also make use of it, there's no problem unless you're sleeping in the classroom. If you're not sleeping in the classroom, it's fine, nothing wrong with it. But you will see, you try this and see, mornings are a nuisance. But, can I share something? I was made like this. If I sleep in the morning, normally my school used to be 8:30 in the morning. From 6:45, my mother and my sisters will start waking me up. It's a series of efforts. Many things. They'll make me sit up in the bed, they'll come and twist my arm and do this and this. My mother will do it gently, my sisters will do that. Then they will drag me and my mother will put toothpaste on the toothbrush and give it to me, I'll stick it in my mouth. She'll get me my clothes and say, go and have shower, it's time up, time up. I go inside the bathroom and fall asleep. If nobody wakes me up, till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll just sleep like a rock, not wake up and roll around, simply dead. But I started practicing yoga at the age of 12. In about maybe 8 to 9 months, after that, no matter where I am, even till this day, where I am, which time zone I am, every day I'm in a different time zone, but at 3:30…
When you were born, what's your birthday? 1st of August? Oh, close up. You were not born in one day, though you have a fixed birthday. It took 9.5 months for you to be born. Similarly, when you die, you don't die in one day. You die slowly. If somebody is medically declared dead, he still doesn't die fully. I think we've spoken about this. The 5 pranas, they start withdrawing slowly, step by step. The physical life energy, which generally is referred to as pran or prana, has 5 basic manifestations. There are 10, but that'll complicate. The 5 basic manifestations. These are called samana, prana, udhana, apana and vyana. And let's say if a doctor is observing and they declare that person at a particular moment that he is dead now. In the next 21 to 24 minutes, samana will start exiting. That means samana is in charge of maintaining temperature in the body. First thing that starts happening is body starts cooling down. The traditional way of checking whether somebody is dead or alive is they'll feel the nose. If the nose has gone cold, that's how they concluded that he's dead. They wouldn't check the eyeballs and other things, they would just check the nose. If nose has become cold, that means he's dead. So samana exits at that time. Somewhere between 48 to 64 minutes, prana exits. After that, between 6 to 12 hours, udhana exits. Till udhana exists, there are tantric processes with which you could revive the body. But once udhana exists, there is a micro chance, but that is an impractical chance, except that it is impossible to revive the body once udhana has exited. The next thing is apana, somewhere between 8 to 18 hours, this exits. The vyana, which is the preservative nature of prana, will start exiting from beyond that. It can continue to exit up to 11 to 14 days if it's a normal death. It happened one day, Shankaran Pillai was rummaging through the closet. And after some time, wife came and asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "No, nothing. I'm not doing anything, nothing." Wife said, "What are you saying, nothing, nothing? I've been watching you. Last half an hour, you're reading our marriage certificate. What's the matter?" Shankaran Pillai said, "I've been looking for the expiry date." So though there may be an expiry date for one's death, one does not die in a day. It's a slow process. In fact, it's happening right now, slowly. By doing yoga, you may be putting up hurdles in the way of death, but not stoppers. Yes? Daily yoga you're doing, putting up some hurdles and slowing it down, but no stopper. So, today you know that from your old clothing, we can take your DNA. After you're gone, after 100 years later, we can clone you. Yes? Yes or no? You know? So who you are, at least the physicality of who you are, can be picked up from your clothes and we can remake you. At least someone who looks just like you. We can create the body. So you are still there all over the place. The yogis, when they die, they'll set fire to the hut in which they are living by themselves. There's a way to do it. let me not tell you because I don't want you to set fire to the cottages here. So they always set fire to the hut in which they are living because they don't want even a single molecule of DNA to hang around and live, because in some way your physical body is still hanging around. If they can recreate your body from that, obviously it's hanging around, isn't it? So everything that I have touched, you want to burn. Everything has to be cleared up. It's because of this is the one main reason why people want to keep their physical possessions so minimal on the spiritual path. If you enter a sannyasi's room, you will see there'll be 3 pairs of clothes neatly folded and kept, just this thing to drink water, 1 plate to eat food, and just 1 single sheet to sleep upon, and that's it. No one extra item, because he does not want to touch too many things in the world. He wants to keep it to at most minimal, because he knows if he spreads his body all over the place, gathering it and going will be very difficult. That is why he does not form any physical relationships of any kind, because he understands if he leaves his body all over, when the time to gather comes, it's going to be extremely difficult. People who are off your body are unwilling to come with you when you want to go. They won't come. They'll all say, I love you, but they won't come. So, when someone dies, depending upon who he is, accordingly these things must be handled. In today's world, when people have gathered enough clothing for 3 lifetimes, enough footwear for 10 lifetimes, burning all that would be sheer waste. And anyway, their way of existence and the way they exit is such, invariably they have to find root in this earth once again. No point burning all that. At least those things which are very closely, intimately involved with the body, like their underclothes and other things, must be burnt. They must be burnt. Because otherwise, that being will not go easy. He will not know, he does not have the discretion to understand whether he should be here or there. He cannot make any decision. There's no decision-making capability because there's no discretion. Once the body is gone, the discretionary mind is gone. So there is no decision, only by tendency. There are too many things here which belong to the body, it just hangs around, particularly in the first few days. So, in one's home, if there are lots of used clothes, which is a problem with the Western world again, because of the type of clothing and the structure of the society, the things are such, you may be wearing a jacket for 6 months and it may not be washed. Yes? You use it and you hang it there, because it's a cold country and maybe you don't sweat so much, use it and put it there. Such a thing is not possible in India. If you use something, it has to be washed now. The nature of the clothing, the atmosphere and the social structures are such, but that is changing again there also, because most people are wearing clothes made in China, not anymore made in India. So, the type of clothing they are using, naturally they use it and hang it, they don't use it and wash it. All these things were taken care of. Every aspect was handled, but we're losing it in a big way. Because these clothes are repeatedly used and hung there, you can actually experiment. Well, today the dogs are there. If you bring a police dog, if you put 1,000 jackets here and ask him to point out which is Jim's jacket, he will just go and point out. Yes? Not God, just a dog. So obviously, who you are is hanging there in the jacket in many ways, isn't it? That even a dog can see it. So, once it is like this, when a person is departed and his body is still hanging around in many forms, it becomes a habitation for various kinds of forces. Not only for that person's energies hanging around, for various other kinds of forces. Unoccupied body, your jacket is, in a way, which is not a good way to leave it. So, either they immediately wash it. In India, if they're expensive clothes, they will wash all the clothes. Within the first 10 days or 11 days, they'll wash all the clothes and distribute it to many places, never to one place. You don't take all your clothes and give it to one family. You make sure the jacket goes here, trousers goes there, that goes there, this goes there, so that it gets too spread out to make any significance. Significant presence is not there. Otherwise, all the things which are intimately with the body, just burn it. One of these things must be done. Either you must give it away across the 50 states so that the old man does not remain confused as to where to go, or you must just burn it up.
Thank you for devoting your time to us. Together, we can make a positive impact by sharing our insights and experiences with the world.